Breaking news coming in at the moment. Japanese ex-Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister of Japan, has collapsed and shots were heard. Is the breaking news that's just come in. He was shot at and taken to the hospital. He was bleeding while campaigning at about 11:30 in the morning, Japanese Standard Time. And in fact, this is breaking news coming in at the moment. Japanese former Prime Minister has been shot at. He collapsed and has now been taken to the hospital. Former Japanese Prime Minister reportedly shot and collapsed on stage. Former Japanese Prime Minister collapsed in the western part of Japan while shots were heard in the vicinity. This took place at about 11:30 in the morning, Japanese Standard Time. Japanese ex-Prime Minister being shot at, and many speculations there. These are very preliminary reports coming in, so the details are very sketchy, but we believe that he was perhaps hurt and has been taken to the hospital. Shots were heard in the vicinity in the western part of Japan. Ex-Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, has been taken to the hospital after he was shot at. Ex-Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, had been shot at in the western part of Japan. This is breaking news which is just coming in. He was rushed to the hospital. This at a time when gunshots were heard in the vicinity. This took place at about 11:30 in the morning, Japanese Standard Time. He was shot at in the western part of Japan in Nara. He collapsed during a speech in the city of Nara, and initial reports say that he might have been injured during that shootout. Gunshots were heard. He was delivering a speech. He was shot at, and preliminary reports coming in that he might have been shot at in the chest. But the attacker, however, they say, has been caught. This took place at about 8:30 Indian Standard Time. At about 11:30 Japanese Standard Time, he was on stage when he collapsed, and that is due to a gunshot. Gunshots were heard while he was on stage delivering a speech at 11:30 this morning, just 6 minutes ago in the western part of Japan. Shocking and breaking news coming in of the ex-Prime Minister of Japan, who was on stage in the western part of Japan in a place called Nara. He was delivering a speech when he was shot at. He collapsed to the floor and has been taken to the hospital. We don't have any reports as to how serious his injury might have been, whether he was injured or whether he's just been taken for a checkup. We have heard that he was delivering a speech just 6 minutes ago in the western part of Japan when there were gunshots heard in the vicinity. He was shot at. He collapsed to the ground. He has been taken to the hospital in Japan. The person of interest, the attacker, has been taken into custody. Shinzo Abe, the Japanese former Prime Minister, he's 67 years of age. He collapsed to the floor. This is during a speech that he was delivering in Nara in the western part of Japan. The former Prime Minister of Japan has been attacked while he was delivering a speech in Japan. The attacker has been taken into custody. Gunshots were heard. Apparently, the initial reports suggest that he was injured in the process, and which is why he has been taken to the hospital in Japan. The former Prime Minister of Japan under attack. He was making a speech in the western part of Japan this morning. It was 11:30 in the morning in Japan, 8:30 Indian Standard Time, just 7 minutes ago when the former Prime Minister of Japan was attacked.